Hi dear heavenly people, today is speaker E.T. on LifeTree TV. How have you been for a week? Now I'll talk to you the subject of the people whom the heaven looks for. The heaven doesn't look for those who are accomplished and smart because those people have places to go. The heaven doesn't want those who have succeeded in the world, or those who have accomplished a lot of things in the world. It's because such successful people in the world have nothing to do in the places in which the heavenly works should be done. The heaven does not find those who have various talents and special spiritual abilities. It's because those people still have a lot to learn in this world. The heaven does not find talkative people. Being talkative means that the knowledge of a person has not come down from his head to his heart. A man of too many words means that the knowledge in his heart has not come down to his hands and feet enough to allow him to take actions. Talkative people tend to be caught up in words, caught in letters, and locked in language. The heaven does not find those who look for what is visible. The heaven does not look for those who tend to think in a logical, scientific, or rational way. There are lots of laws of the invisible world in between logic and logic, and in between science and science. Nevertheless, there are a lot of students and scholars who try to learn or know about the invisible world through the studies and researches on the visible world by using the ways of logical thinking, scientific thinking, and the rational thinking. The heaven will not interfere with them in their effort to go their ways. The heaven does not find apostles of righteousness or knights of justice who use the sword of righteousness recklessly. It's because the way of justice or righteousness is the power and authority of the secular world. In the material world, the best virtue is to establish a just, righteous society, welfare state, and ideal society. In order to allow for the material experience of the spirit soul through which your spirit soul can evolve, the heaven has deliberately created unequal societies, intentionally made irrational societies, and deliberately created societies full of contradictions. In addition, the heaven has created a variety of human personalities filled with contradictions who will be engaged in such contradictory societies. It's because the contradictory and unequal society which fair rules of the game are not applied to and which are crowded with people with so many contradictions is the best place for spirit souls to learn and have material experiences. For spirit souls to learn and grow, the place filled with contradictions is the best place and best theatrical stage. This is the real reason the heaven exists and the uncomfortable truth about why the heaven exists, which may not be understandable easily at the level of human consciousness. The heaven leads the rich to the path of the rich, the poor to the path of the poor, the learned to the path of the learned, and the uneducated to the path of the uneducated. This is why the heaven exists. The heaven lets the wicked go the evil way, and the virtuous people go the virtuous way. Those who are supposed to go the way of the ground are allowed to go the way of the ground. And those who are bound to go the way of the heaven will be made to go the way of the heaven. This is the reason the heaven exists, in line with the evolutionary itineraries and ages of their own spirit souls. Those who are supposed to go on the path of the earthly world in this life have been programmed from the beginning by the heaven before they are born. In accordance with the evolutionary itineraries and ages of their own spirit souls, those who are bound to go on the heavenly path in this life have been programmed from the beginning by the heaven before they are born. This is why the heaven exists, and also the truth about why the heaven exists, which is very uncomfortable at the level of human consciousness. The heaven is finding those who are poor in heart and humble-minded toward the heaven and have nothing to show off, who are not so prominent or smart, but are aware that the heaven exists, and who are afraid of the heaven. The heaven doesn't look for those who have everything they want in the world and are too proud and pompous toward the heaven. The heaven looks for fishermen who can catch the heart of the people and thus can get the mind of the heaven, but does not find those who try to catch things belonging to the secular world. In this world, the heavenly people live a very mediocre, ordinary life. They have nothing and gain no attention from the world. They seem to be far below the standards of the mainstream world and to be very self-contradictory. However, they are the heavenly people who are supposed to live that way and who have come to this world after promising to the heaven to live that way. The heaven finds the heavenly people who have been living a pitiful, wretched life. The heaven looks for the heavenly people who lead a plain, mediocre life. The heaven is looking for the heavenly people who have not been successful in any business and who have not been recognized or acknowledged, living a frustrating and disappointing life. Those who are positioned in higher ranks in the heaven should be at the lowest positions on the earth. Those who exist higher in the heaven are not only the older spirit souls, but also the more evolved spirit souls. The heavenly people are those of the experienced spirit souls that have already learned and experienced whatever should be learned and experienced on the earth. The heavenly people are an invaluable asset of the heaven and the treasure of the universe. They are jewels of the heaven that everybody covets. The heavenly people have been hidden so thoroughly that no one have ever noticed their existence, and they will continue to be hidden like concealed treasures until the scheduled time comes on the earth. The heavenly people should stay in the lowest places to learn how to gain the heart of the people, to get aware of the principles of the heaven, and to distinguish the way of the heaven from the way of the secular world. Finally, the heavenly people should feel comfortable even in the lowest places. Now that the time has come, the heavenly people start to be awakened. Now that the time has come, the heavenly beings to wake up, the heavenly people. Now that the time has come, I announce that what was promised by the heaven has begun at the time scheduled. The heaven is looking for you, a heavenly person. I wish for the success of the heaven. January 2019 Udeka, translated by E.T. Thank you. All the best.